a little bit, but we're still here.
We definitely had a rough patch. We'll get to that towards the end. So starting the presentation, I think that Ben did a really good job at going over the positives, like the benefits of having Caitlin as a salesperson. You were asking questions. One of your statements was that she was asking good questions, just not the right ones. So telling her that she was doing a good job at making well thought out questions, just not necessarily the ones that were helping to uncover the issues. I would say though that at the beginning when she first walked in, there was a little bit of like the negative energy, which might lead to the salesperson being a little bit defensive. So I think starting a little bit more positively on that end. I can just go through mine first if you want.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to do this and then we do these and then this?
Sure. So self-discovery, in that section, I think Ben did a really good job. Some of the things he asked about were, what questions did you ask? Did you ask about important issues? Did you ask about the importance of their issues? So just kind of uncovering where she might struggle with asking the right types of questions that they talked about previously. One of the statements he made was something we can talk about is understanding exactly how to get into getting to the needs of the customer. So that kind of helped her to go back and think about her process and see if she got to the ultimate objective, which is to handle all of the customer's objectives. And then also that ultimately just helped her to uncover the issues by herself. So not just having him say everything that was wrong, but having her have to reflect on everything and figure it out. He did ask quite a few leading questions, which is good in a certain sense, but also might just make it so that she seems like that's the type of question that he wants a specific answer to. And then the statement, do you think you could have done better, is positive and negative in a certain sense. So when you're dealing with a defensive salesperson, then you probably don't want to make statements too blunt in that sense. But delivering feedback, it was all really great. Said that you can work together, it's a two-way street. He did a really good job of fostering like a positive environment. And providing practice, it was where we struggled a little bit. But he did say that he was going to be providing her materials, and then being able to review those would help her to get the practice that she needs. So overall, final step was checking for agreement, and I think that was sufficient.
Yeah, I think Ben did a really good job of kind of establishing that Caitlin and him are on the same side. I think that's really important between superior and the employee. As far as what really stood out for me was Ben did a really good job of not only asking about how things went, but also saying things like, he noticed that she did this. And I think that really helps Caitlin just because of the fact that he is, like, what she is doing, her hard work is paying off and it's being noticed by her boss. And I think then, as far as things that she noticed, he asked questions like, did you ask this? And I think that really just leads her to figure other things out for herself that he didn't necessarily point out. And I think going back to my point about how they're kind of on the same team, I think he put it in good terms. He put it in I think simple terms. Like, this isn't super complex. I know he said you can be blunt, and I think that just makes it kind of puts it in perspective. Like, you shouldn't be sugarcoating this thing like a ton. Obviously, you want to sell your product. However, you need to be honest about it, because if you do make a sale, and they figure out that it doesn't line up with your product, then they're not going to be happy in the long run. So you do have to be blunt in that sense, and I think he did a good job of mentioning that. lastly, I think him providing follow-up, even after this meeting is done, he said, I'll send over some techniques, and I think that kind of goes to show that even after this meeting is done, his door is always open to her, so I think that really kind of strengthened the relationship between them. And then they both agreed, and that's that.
And then finally, just the last couple pieces of criteria. He uncovered a couple different development needs and strengths from Caitlin, teaching her how to ask the right questions, be more open, and then kind of practice on her own. He covered most of the ones that I probably would have covered, but I might have added just a little bit more actual practice with each other. Maybe setting up a time for him to go and see Caitlin's sales calls to see kind of what the issue is firsthand. And any coaching skills that I would have done differently, I may have started a little bit more positively, and I might have come up with some sort of plan to help her work through the issues she's having.
Yeah, I agree with a little more practice. I think I kind of compare it to studying for a test. I think if you look over your notes and just kind of go, okay, yeah, I get this, I get that, that's easy. But that's completely different than staring at a blank, like a practice exam with a blank question and it just has a question that you supposedly were studying the material for. However, you don't know how to do it because you don't have the answer in front of you. Those are two different things, studying your notes and doing a practice exam. And I think that Caitlin definitely could have benefited from that. And I think Ben got a little confused when the practice time came, and I think that more definitely would have helped out. So yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for tuning in.
This is our vlog.
This is our vlog. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Okay. See you, Barry.